Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
What's up, guys? So for any of you guys who have not had a chance to spend any time overseas, I want to kind of address something that I kind of thought about when I saw the DJ Akademiks thing. And if you haven't seen it, I'm not sure if it's too important to see it, but I just let you see it so you have a chance to kind of reference it. So this is something that happened I guess it happened in a residential hotel. And, you know, that's enough. I'm sure that the people that are really interested in this video can find it. But I want to juxtapose that video against this video, which is in the country which I'm in, which is Japan, okay? What I want to remind young travelers about is, especially for young black men, is that the victim mentality, are black people victims? Yes. Historically, yes, we have been victims. But there's a way that you have to behave. Even you have to show a level of restraint. Otherwise, you know, you can get dealt with. And I'm going to kind of use this video as a kind of an explanation for it. So this is the Japanese police accosting a young man. I think he's a professor, actually. And he takes offense to the situation because he's been profiled because of his hair. So I'll let you watch.
そう、それはなんでかな、じゃあ、どうしてなの？
じゃあ、あと、本当申し訳ない。言っていい？私があと思ったの経験上ですよ。私の経験則として、俺ら別にトレッドヘアが悪いわけではない。悪いわけではないですけど、そういうトレッドヘア、おしゃれな方。で、結構薬物を持ってる方が私の経験上、今まで多かった。そういうことです。で、プラス、先ほどの。
Okay, so what's happening here is that this is a young American black man who has dreadlocks. And what's happening is he's being profiled because they suspect that he might have drugs, marijuana specifically, and because of his appearance, he feels like he's being profiled. And what the policeman is saying is that many people who have had the same appearance of you have been, you know, caught with drugs, marijuana, and so that's why we stopped you, okay? And so this is when the young man is kind of defending himself.
じゃあ、久しぶりにドレッド見たから止めたわけではないんだね。
だから先ほど言った。
ぶっちゃけ本当にみじんもないのね。
そう、それで私のことを気になってると思ったのと、先ほど言った、そういった。
経験上イコールその人に髪型似てるだけで、なんか。
似てるとかじゃなくて。
Okay, so what the professor is here saying, or the brother is saying, is that you stopped me because of my you know, my hairstyle. Just admit it. And the police is kind of saying, he's kind of backing off of the original premise a little bit, but he still hasn't admitted to the fact that his appearance is a major reason why he stopped him.
要は、大体こういうやつって持ってるって言いたいんでしょ。
持ってる可能性がある。俺悪くないんですよ。悪くはないんだよ。
いや、
やってることが悪くじゃなくて、私の経験則で、一部の方で、そういったものを持ってる方がいた。
だから要は。
Okay, so, and what's happening in this situation is basically that, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that what's happening here is that the young black man, the brother, is saying that basically, you know, you're profiling me. You shouldn't profile me. And you know, the police are kind of dealing with in the best manner they kind of have been trained to do so. But they're just keep watching.
こいつそんな髪してるからどうせ持ってんだろうなって思ったでしょ。
どうせ持ってるかどうかわからない。私は職務質問してないから。ただ持ってる可能性があるってこと。
いや普通にだから思ったよ。
こちら失礼します。
Okay, so basically what happened is that they searched his bag and they didn't find anything. Okay, so the question is, and who was in the right and who was in the wrong in this video? Were the police in the wrong? Were they in the right? Was the young black man in the wrong? Was he in the right? And the answer is neither of them were in the wrong. And that is a mode of thinking that I think a lot of young people have to understand if you're going to travel, especially for young black men. If you're going to travel, is that, and he speaks impeccable Japanese. It's really good Japanese. So he's basically explained his position, but what you have to remember is you're not in America. He's not in America. Like, the rules are different. So because the rules are different, the engagement is different. So the police weren't wrong for profiling him, because this is a different country and they operate on different rules, and the rules of engagement for profiling someone vary based on where you are. It's not right, it's not fair, but it is the way that things work in the country that you're in, right? So and I'm not even going to blame the young black man, because he's basically saying, why are you profiling me? And he's probably tired of it. He's not wrong either. It's just, that is just the way that things are when you go somewhere else and you're dealing with different rules. And so I'm going to actually follow this up with this story here. This is a story from the BBC from 5 years ago, I think. And the BBC this is a story that's basically profiling what happened to some young men who basically did some vandalization in Singapore, and basically they had to pay for it. So Singapore caned in jail 2 Germans for vandalism. And so this is 2 German men sentenced for 3 strokes of a cane and 9 months in jail in Singapore for vandalism and trespassing. So they have very strict laws on vandalism. This actually happened in the 90s, where I think some young American kid went to Singapore and did some vandalism. And I think his family actually appealed to President Clinton to spare him the punishment. And they took a cane and whipped him. And 21, 22 flown into Singapore from Australia, and they vandalized a train during their stay. And afterwards, they went to Malaysia, and they call it a stupid mistake. Of course, it was a mistake. I mean, they did something and they thought they could get away with it. Maximum penalty is $22,000 fine and up to 3 years of jail, in addition to 3 to 8 strokes of a cane. And caning Singapore being struck with a wooden stick in the back of the thigh, which could leave permanent scars. So what you're basically seeing is that the rules are different, and they thought that they could flout the rules because they were different people, and they thought they could get away with it, and they obviously did not. Okay, and so I wanted to just bring this up when you look at we're going to look at the video of I mean, I'm sure if you've seen it or not. Sorry, this is the wrong one, but the video of DJ Akademiks, right? And now I'm going to just see a little bit of it. I'm not too interested in all of it, but like, you see this kind of behavior, right? Okay, so you'll have to understand is that I'm not saying DJ Akademiks was right or wrong, because I all I can do is look at the video and what happened. It's, what happened is the case. It is what it is, but it won't matter if you're in the wrong place as a foreigner acting the fool. It won't matter. So basically, if you act like you're going to get you're going to get taken care of. And when the police show up and you're an unruly foreigner, and we saw in this video here, this gentleman actually spoke Japanese. And to be fair, if he had gotten really upset in this situation and not been able to speak Japanese, and he was just yelling out English, he might have woken up the next morning with a baton on his neck in a jail, right? Is it fair? Is it right? I mean, define fair and right. It's different. If you're in a country and their rules are different or their laws are different, you have to adapt to that. And so don't think you're going to go to another country and say, well, I'm American, I'm special, I can act the way that I want to because American rules fly everywhere. That's not how it works. I mean, you can see here where these young men are going to get caned. They're going to get lashes, or I'm sorry, they got lashes. because of behavior. So this is just a warning to a lot of young men, especially young brothers, when you're going overseas and you think that you're being wronged, and you think that, you know, it's okay to kind of be emotional and show yourself. This keeps going back to here, but you think it's emotional and act like this kind of behavior. Like, hey man, it's not as forgiving as it might be in America, where you can claim Black Lives Matter, or you could, you know, put it up on Twitter and people on a, you know, Al Sharpton is going to fly in and start marching on your behalf. That's not the way it works everywhere else. So I just want to make this quick video to remind guys that this kind of behavior here you're seeing with DJ Akademiks, where he's just acting just out of control, you're not going to be able to get away with this kind of behavior in other places. So check the emotional behavior, the victim complex, be rational, be logical. And if you learn the language, that's even better, and act in a rational, logical manner. Because if you don't, if you act like this, if you have this kind of behavior in the wrong country, you will wake up in the next morning in a jail cell. And worse than that, you'll wake up forbidden to come to that country again. You'll have your visa revoked and you'll be sent on a plane back to somewhere else. Or even worse, you might end up waking up in jail trying to get in touch with the embassy because you did something that was not very wise. So anyways, I just wanted to remind you guys, when you're watching this kind of fallout from DJ Akademiks and how he kind of lost his cool, remember that in America, he's not going to go to jail. He might get a misdemeanor charge and have to show up in court. But if you have some kind of outburst like this kind of outburst here, like overseas, something like this, you are not going to get the same kind of, doesn't even matter if you're in the right or the wrong. You're not going to get the same kind of response of, you know what, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't work like that everywhere, guys. So just be aware of that when you're overseas and you have, even if you feel like you've been wronged, you might have been actually wronged, but that's not what matters most. What matters most is that you know how to keep your cool. Like this gentleman here, you didn't break the laws. You don't have any stuff in your possession like Brittany Griner, and you can walk away from the situation scot-free. Okay, but don't think that those American rules apply everywhere, because they don't. Anyways, that's all for this one, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you guys later, and I'll catch you on the next one.